And Chavanice, you are a vocal major?
Yes, ma'am.
At Arts High School. All right. You may be seated. My name is Antoinette Richardson. I'm the Chief Education Officer for Mayor Baraka. This event tonight is Mayor Baraka's idea, and tonight he will honor the top 5 students from every high school in Newark. And I said every high school in Newark is participating tonight. That is our traditional public schools, our charter schools, our parochial schools, and our schools of the Essex County vocational system that have campuses here in Newark. So the job of the mayor is to care about every child and every child's education. And this evening is just his way of saying thank you to the top students in each and every one of our high schools. And you will hear from the mayor later on. But I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows who's in the room, that this day does not belong to any one school or anything. This is about the city of Newark and how we work together for the young people in Newark, despite whatever our other differences are. At the end of the day, we all have to see that all of the children in this city receive the best education possible. And tonight, we sit here among the students who made some kind of decision somewhere along the way, mostly with the encouragement of their parents, I believe, and some, despite not having some of those supports, made the decision that they were going to be the best of the best. So if we could please give those students, their parents, and everyone who helped support them along the way, the teachers, the administrators, everybody counts in this, because to be among the best of the best, it does take a village. I'm going to take just a moment now and recognize a few people before we move on. Angela Garrison, please stand up. Where's Angela? Okay, Angela hails from NJIT, and she is also Assemblywoman, Angela Garrison. And Freeholder, why do I keep making you an assembly person? All right, freeholder, shoot. I'm sorry. I think this is the second time I did that. Okay, I'm trying to send you down to Trenton, see? Hey. But I want to thank you personally for the care and cooperation that you give whenever the mayor's office needs something, needs to host an event. You are always so much more than gracious and so helpful, and it's really appreciated. I also want to recognize Newark Public Schools board members. Board members? I said board members. So I was on the school board, and I'll make this brief. School board members don't always get their due, so it's within my headset to recognize the school board members at this time. And we have Ms. Dawn Haynes here, Ms. Yambali Gomez, and are there any other board members here? And okay, Asia Norton. Why am I not thinking of your name right now? I know, Flohisha, I'm sorry, senior moment, you know I know you. I know I'm gonna have to apologize 100 times for that. And if there's anyone here who sits on any other school board, please stand at this time and be recognized. Okay, thank you. And the school board is? Hillside, all right. Okay, Hillside School Board, thank you. I also want to recognize at this time Freeholder Wayne Richardson. See, I didn't send him to Trenton. So that's my husband. I'm not sending him anywhere. And Assistant Superintendent Angelica Allen McMillan from the Newark Public Schools. And there are a few other people here who I could recognize, but you will be hearing from them in the program. And before, let me see, who else did I forget? They'll let me know if I forgot anyone else. So as we move on in the program, I just want to go a little bit off of the lineup that you see here, and we're going to have Essex County Assistant Executive Superintendent Leonard Luciano bring greetings at this time, and he is also a freeholder, and you guys have to get to a meeting, right? Okay, please come up.
Good evening, and thank you, Chief Academic Officer Richardson. I do appreciate so much being here this evening at your invitation, and what a nice evening this is. What a great honor to be here, Mayor. This was your vision. I mean, we're in a room right now with the cream of the crop. And to all the students that are here, before I recognize you, why don't we just give a round of applause to Chavanese and the young men from Arts High? How great were they, right? Excellent. I heard their band play a couple of weeks ago at the Newark Public School dinner, and I was blown away. And what a treat and delight it was when I came in tonight and saw them playing again. But I am here. I do wear several hats at the moment. But the most important hat that I wear right now tonight is I'm here on behalf of the Department of Education and our commissioner, our current commissioner, Dr. Lamont Repillette. And Dr. Repillette was a former principal of a high school, and he knows how important it is for student success and achievement. And I know that we bring greetings on his behalf, on my superior's behalf, our county superintendent, Joe Zara. We are just so proud when we have young folks like you that are ready to follow the future, whether that future is academic, whether that future is in the trades. We know that those students that are in this room have reached the highest level of success and are going to continue on, and they're going to do great things, just like our keynote speaker, who I also want to recognize, who's going to be speaking later tonight, a graduate of the Newark schools, just a recent graduate of Princeton University, and going on to Oxford University, Jordan Thomas. So, again, without belaboring what my intention is up here to bring greetings and commend you all, I also want to recognize all the leaders of education that are in this room. And I mean that not only in title, like your superintendent right here, who's a good friend of mine, Robert Gregory, our incoming superintendent, who's also a good friend of mine, Roger Leone, to all the principals and teachers and educators that are in here. But the most important educator in everyone's life, and I know this because I was a 12-and-a-half-year public school teacher right here in the city of Newark. I taught at Roseville Avenue School for many years and Branchbrook Elementary School. And my parents were both Newark public school teachers. My father taught for 39 years, and I think even at one point in his career, one of his students was Mayor Baraka. And my mother is a current public school teacher at Franklin School in Newark of 42 years. I can tell you who the most important educator here in this room is, and that's the parents and the guardians and the family members. Because students grow up at home. You know, they are in school during the day, but at home is where the real learning takes place. So I want to give a congratulations and commend all of you in here that are there to support your children, whether it's in reading, arithmetic, or just in life in general. So let's clap for everyone in here who's at home. Thank you. Again, Mayor, thank you. Superintendents, my colleague on the Freeholder Board, Wayne Richardson, and I unfortunately have to slip out. We have a meeting tonight, but I am so proud to be here, and I look forward to doing this in the future, and I look forward to many of you coming back, just as Jordan Thomas did, and making us very proud. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. There's a lot of power in this room today. Does that scare anybody? Does that scare you, Mayor? He didn't hear me. Does the power in the room scare you today?
No, I'm never scared of power.
All right. That's what we know. And the more we come together, I think the more that we'll find that we don't have any reason to be afraid of each other. But we have a lot of ideas that we need to share with each other. At this time, I'm going to ask Newark Public Schools interim superintendent and longtime Newark educator, Robert Gregory, to please come up and bring them up.
Good evening. I'd like to begin by thanking and congratulating all those who will grace this stage this evening, and more importantly, the individuals who assisted our students throughout their life in reaching this important milestone. Those individuals being our parents, grandparents, guardians, and caretakers. Will you all stand up, please? Please stand up. That's right. So, to all of you, while you are still standing, because of your unwavering support, your unconditional love, you've assisted in ensuring your young scholars are amongst the best in the class of 2018. Every child needs a champion, especially during their high school years, which are often fueled with controversy, mistakes, and important lessons. And because of you, your unwavering love, support, your children are being celebrated today. So we all celebrate you. Thank you for being the individuals you are. If there's one thing I've learned in the 20 years plus that I've worked in this district, it is that we cannot do this work alone, and the backbone and foundation of our advancement is predicated on our ability to partner with parents, community organizations, city government, higher education institutions, etc., to make our students' dreams their reality as they represent the next generation of Newarkers who will potentially contribute to the vitality of this community or find their place outside of the city, within the state of New Jersey, or across America. So I do want to thank and acknowledge our phenomenal mayor, Mayor Baraka, for his commitment to education, for being an inspiration to all Newarkers throughout your entire life, his commitment to our schools, our school leaders, our students. It is literally unprecedented, as is this event. And you continue to be our champion, our drum major for justice, and our shining example of an individual who epitomizes all that Newark can be. So thank you, Mayor Baraka. Students, we live in a society that is becoming two Americas, one of haves and have-nots. And while we are living through an age of information and have seen technological advances unlike what we've ever seen in the history of the world, lots of things simply haven't changed. Why? One reason is we failed to embrace our own ignorance and realize that our country has taught us to fear one another, fear change, stay away from people who look different than us and are from different backgrounds. And for that reason, America hasn't advanced at the rate that it could potentially advance. We must understand that we are all beautifully human and are products of social conditioning. As one poet said, I don't remember his name, but even our condition has been conditioned. So what does that mean? Over the next 4 to 5 years, you're going to encounter people who come with biases of their own, as you will, their own preconceived notions about who you are, what you represent, etc. But fight through those things and realize that we are all a part of the human race, and as human beings can accelerate freedom as long as we remain united. There is no reason like things like poverty in America should exist, but it does and will continue until we realize that we live in a world where billions of people exist together and have the advantage of technology to be connected and learn anything they want at the click of a button. By the year 2030, some economists predict 50% of the jobs that will be available don't exist today. So as the future leaders of tomorrow, you must commit yourself to lifelong learning and engaging with others in order to advance our democracy and take advantage of life in a global economy. The diversity of religion, race, gender, and culture are things that are bound to be different from each person you meet, but now more than ever, we must embrace it so that we can work together towards one common goal, and that is that all Americans, whether documented or undocumented, experience this thing we call the American dream: freedom, justice, love, and happiness. We have so much to learn about loving one another, and we cannot let our ignorance and fear of one another stop us from advancing what this country is supposed to be about. And so I hope that as you go on and you continue your education or you go on into the workplace, you get to know how incredible people from different settings, people from different cultures are, and you unite with them while discovering yourself. Because life is beautiful and it can be beautiful, but we can't advance one another unless we embrace our humanity. So I thank you for being the shining examples you are for your peers and, of course, for your families and this city. And tonight we celebrate all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Superintendent Gregory. And now we will hear words from the incoming Superintendent of the Newark Public Schools, Mr. Roger Leone.
Good evening. To the mayor of this great city, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that he thought of this idea, the whole bringing of these 5 incredible seniors of this class together for this moment to share, to be inspired, to understand the purpose of this evening for you and for those who are not here. I think it is most appropriate for all of us to give our great mayor a big round of applause. Class of 2018, how you doing this evening? Oh, no. Class of 2018, how are you doing this evening? To your parents, the first teachers, to the teachers that are here, to the respective school leaders, imagine for a moment the amount of money that is in this room. Think for a moment, do you know the hope that's in this room? Ladies and gentlemen, in thinking about this class, do you understand the promise that is here? This evening is a celebration of the city of Newark and its incredible, beautiful people. And I find it quite interesting as to how the hand from above has actually laid these cards for us. You see, the mayor of the city graduated from University High School, a school that I eventually became the principal of. And so I wear maroon and gray this evening with intent and purpose. You see, the myth of the phoenix goes like this. It is a golden egg. And every 500 years, that shell cracks. Something makes it crack. And from that crack emerges a phoenix. And the phoenix rises, and it flies high, and it soars with purpose. This evening is about the city of Newark, ladies and gentlemen. This city has been in that shell for oh too long. This city distinguished itself in this nation as one of the highest performing school districts in the nation. And see, the mayor and the incoming superintendent is not waiting 500 years. We are going to make sure that this Phoenix rises quickly, soars high, and accomplishes all the goals that we have, in fact, before us. You can see the beauty of the work that he's doing in downtown Newark. You see the fact that this hand is actually reaching into our respective wards, and you will see and be evidence of a reality of what is going to happen in our school district. I share with you this challenge. So we have 4 of our advisory board members here, and the way that it works, even though civics was a course that wasn't in your time period if you attended our schools, but will definitely be a course that's reinstated, that you will learn that these local officials have a responsibility, and their first act as a board was the selection of the first superintendent under local control. And I stand before you with distinct honor and humbled and feel very, very privileged of this opportunity. Their job was to hire me. My job is to recommend to them who gets hired. Are there any seniors in this room who are interested in becoming teachers? Can you stand? Hi. I didn't say sit down, stand. So I did this at Week Wake High School's graduation ceremony in around 2011. Where are you? I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 4? Come on, up you go. Come on, don't be scared. Are you contemplating if that's what you're gonna do? Yeah. Do you wanna teach? Stand up. No? Yes? Unsure? Okay. So I have 4 people. You see them? Okay, stay standing. Here's a challenge. If you want to become a good teacher during your actual college work, please go to some other school district. Because I have really good teachers in our school district. I don't need more good teachers. I need great teachers in the Newark Public Schools. So I challenge the 4 of you with this. If you're going to go to school and study hard, I need you in the spring of 2022. Hear me carefully. I need you to come find me. I will be wherever our central office is. And I'm not trying to be presumptuous, board members. However, I do have a plan. And starting tonight, on that day, I will recommend to these 4 members and the other 5 that join them, for the 4 of you each, a $50,000 teaching contract to work in the Newark Public Schools. All I need you to do is finish strong, and be great. And we have a place in our school district for you. To all of you, wherever your life's journey leads you, we wish it to be Newark. But if it is not, may others be blessed to learn that your greatness was created in Newark. Congratulations, good luck, and may God bless you all.
Every voice
You may be seated. I want to say a bit before I call the mayor up, just a little bit about our keynote speaker, Mr. Jordan Thomas. If you Google him, you could just read for hours, but I have something a little different to say because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but I knew Jordan before he was thought about. Because I knew his parents when they were teenagers, and his dad, Neil, was one of my students at Baraka High School. So I take a little credit for this, just a little. At this time, and it's very hard to introduce the mayor because we all know the mayor, because our mayor, Mayor Baraka, is a mayor of the people. So he's a mayor that everyone knows. Either you know him personally or you think you do because you see him everywhere and you hear him and you hear from him so much. So I'm not going to say a whole lot, except that working for Mayor Baraka as Chief Education Officer is not only interesting and challenging, but it is very, very rewarding work. And when he asked me to do it, I thanked him for the opportunity. I had no idea what I was getting into, even though people think you know what you're getting into when you say yes to something. But it is an honor and a pleasure to work in the name of education for our education mayor, Mayor Ras Baraka.
I came to hit Jordan.
Okay.
I just want to first thank Tony Baskerville Richardson for putting this together. She's right. She's put this together almost all alone by herself, and I'm not only excited and grateful for it, but it's an incredible turnout. And as you said earlier, there's a very, very powerful room for many, many, many reasons. I want to thank Robert Gregory. I don't know where he went. He was here, obviously. I want to thank Roger Leone as well. All of the teachers and staff and principals and vice principals, the administrators that are here from all of the schools, I want to thank you for your commitment to these children, your commitment to their families, your commitment to their present and their future. If you didn't have a commitment to them, they wouldn't be in here today. I want to thank your parents, all of the parents that are here, the mothers, the fathers, the aunties, the surrogate mothers and fathers, the uncles, whoever is responsible and in charge of you getting up in the morning, getting to school, even when you don't feel like it, doing what you're supposed to do, forcing you to do things you don't want to do, be places you don't want to be bored out your mind sometimes, force you to work harder than you know that you think you can work. All those people that are in your life, I want to say thank you to all of you because if you're not in their life, they're not here today as well. I had a mother and father the same way who forced me to go places I didn't want to go, listen to people I didn't want to listen to, read books I didn't like at my age, go to events instead of basketball games, hang out at the house and watch different documentaries when I wanted to be at the mall or in Irvington at the Castle Theater. Some of y'all old enough to know about that. Make me go to the museum when I didn't want to go to the museum. Learn about all kinds of things that, guess what, I appreciate it all today. And if they didn't do any of those things, I would not have ever been on a trajectory that I found myself on, that God placed me on, that I am so happy and proud to be on, despite the challenges, the ups and downs, the things that happen. I am so grateful to be where I am today. And I owe a lot of that to my parents and their insistence on excellence. And so I want to thank all of the parents that are here today as well. So give yourselves a round of applause. I'm glad to be at NJIT. I have to thank NJIT and Angela and make sure you give Dr. Bloom a shout out for me as well. Not just because they gave me an honorary doctorate, But, I had the opportunity to see 3 of my students graduate from New Jersey Institute of Technology. God is incredible because I got to sit on the stage and watch them and give 2 of them the diplomas myself. And those kids were actually in school when I was the principal there and was in a program that we hooked up with NJIT with Dr. Bloom and some parents. And, those kids went to school here. They took a half a day and went to school here, took calculus. They passed the calculus class. They became students at NJIT. And all three of them had jobs before they even crossed the stage. Yes. That's incredible. They're all over different parts of the country now. I try to urge them to come back to Newark, but they're making money. They're young. They're exciting. They're having a great time. The Dami, who just graduated this year, is on his way to Atlanta. And I spent 2 seconds trying to talk him out of going to Atlanta, but that was fruitless. He is so excited about going to Atlanta and working there, and I'm excited for him and proud of. This is a young boy from Academy Spires, who grew up in Academy Spires, in the heart of poverty, in this community, who's probably the first person in his family to be able to go to a university like NJIT. His sister went to college as well, though. He went through the program, graduated from NJIT, and now is employed. And so this is one of the reasons why we're having this event, why I think I told Tony we need to make these things happen, because I want all these young people to know that, despite all of the stuff that goes on in the city, they're going to talk about Channel 12, 7-2, RLS Media, all of that stuff. They're never going to talk about you. And I don't want you to believe that you're not important. I want you to know there's some people, thinking about you, planning for your arrival, waiting desperately for you to graduate from these schools to do what we know God is putting you to do. And I just want to apologize. The adults have grown very, very accustomed and inundated with problems, right? So we have become experts at identifying problems. We have become experts at complaining about problems. We have been experts at blaming each other about the problems. We just have not created solutions for them. So there's very few meetings that we call where people are raising their hands saying, I have the answer for this. But if you call a meeting for all of us to get together to complain about something that's going on, the room will be jam-packed and everybody's hand will be in the air and we'll be blaming each other and even cursing a few people out. And if that ain't enough, we'll get home and get on Facebook and add some more to it. And we've become very, 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 very good at it all around the nation. And I want you to know that you didn't go to school to identify problems. It's not why you're in school. You're not in school to be an expert on how to analyze a problem. You go to school to learn how to fix them, how to solve them, how to defy gravity. You learn language in order to manipulate it. You learn math not so you can solve problems that the teacher put on the board. You learn math so you can create new problems and new answers to those problems. That's why you learn that. So you can be able to develop and become imaginative and creative. And God knows we need you desperately. The last thing I'm going to say, because I honestly came to hear Jordan, and I'm going to tell you why, is that we need some courage. There are a lot of smart people in City Hall. I got a lot of brilliant people around me. They just don't have a lot of courage. And Maya Angelou said courage is the actual trait that you need to be able to follow all the other traits. Because if you don't have courage, you can't do all the other things, particularly in a place that is designed or is created to oppose those things. You have to have the courage. I say the Wright brothers had the brilliance to create a plane, but they also had the courage to fly it. Right? So that's important. So we need you to be brilliant, but we need you to be courageous. We need you to do things everybody else not doing. Right? We need you to answer questions that people are even afraid to ask. That's what we need from you, right? And I am here, and I say I want to hear Jordan because not only that he went to University High School, his commitment and your love for the city of Newark is refreshing for me. Most people get an education, and the first thing they think about is getting so far away from this place and forgetting about all of the problems and the issues that occur in Newark. But you understood that your education was designed to solve the problems that you saw when you grew up in this community. And that's what I felt as a 16, 17-year-old boy in this city, that there were so many issues that somebody had to be brave enough to do something about it. And I think that, and I know that looking at what you wrote, listening and watching you, that you are readying yourself to deal with all of this stuff that we deal with every single day. And most importantly, you know, Amazon is, you know, Amazon coming to Newark, y'all. I hope you know that. Yeah. Right? We can have a debate about it. We can talk about it. We can do all that. I'm ready for it. But I'm gonna tell you this. We sat in the old Central that's now in the new NJIT. So y'all need to go check that out. Miss Brown, take them kids over there to see that NJIT building that they fixed up. You know, not for our babies, but for it's beautiful. But we sat in there with folks from Amazon, Princeton, Rutgers, NJIT, a couple of other folks there, all of these people around there talking about education and brilliance, and the person that lit the room up was Jordan. Jordan was there. He was there and he spoke on the behalf of this city, right? And I think that we're one step closer to where we are because of your presence, sir. Because what you don't know that it did is because before they got here, they looked and researched the city. They saw Channel 12 and 7 and 4 and 2. They heard all of the crazy things about Newark, and they was wondering if we had a pipeline of education, if we had the kids that are going to be prepared, ready to deal with big company like Amazon, and then you showed up. You showed up, you spoke, you said something to them. Your presence was confident. It was there. You were brilliant. They wanted to hire you before you walked out of that place. They talked about you later on at dinner that evening, and I said, Jordan was a home run. That's what I said, because you represented all of us so well, right? So well. It made me incredibly and intensely proud to be the mayor of this city, to be an educator in this community, and to know that there are Newark students, babies in this city that are ready to do all the incredible things, that take the stuff that people say is not ours, that don't belong to us. There are people like you, and I know there's hundreds of more of you in this city, and there's many more of you in this room. In this room that are prepared to show the world what Newark means, what it represents, what we can do, what we can build, what we can create, and we just need an opportunity to get that done. So I want to thank you, and you know whenever you come to the city of Newark, you have a red carpet from me, and whenever you're ready to be the mayor, you just give me a call. I'll step aside for you, my brother. Congratulations to all of you today. All of the young people that are the 5 that were picked from your school. I know it's difficult. Congratulations to all of you. Keep up the good work. Do what you're supposed to do. And I don't want you to, you know, you're not in competition with other people. So don't judge your success by how well you're doing in the school that you're in. Let me say that again. Don't judge your success or your brilliance based on the school that you're in and the people that you're around every day. Your number one competition is yourself. That's your number one competition. You're the only person that can beat you. You're the only person that can up in you. You're the only person. You fight with yourself. That's the greatest and the most challenging battle you'll ever have. And when you beat yourself over and over and over again, then you'll watch yourself grow and become better and better and better each day. God bless you. Godspeed to all of you. Thank you. Bossing me around?
Yes, I'm bossing him around. I don't get to do that often. Did you all see that? He actually did what I said. This is a historic moment. You just don't know. And so now we would like to bring before you our keynote speaker, Mr. Jordan Thomas.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me all right? Yes. I want to thank Mrs. Richardson, Mayor Baraka, and the other organizers of this event for inviting me here. It truly is an honor and a privilege to just stand before so many bright young minds, individuals who in so many ways have truly exemplified what it means to be leaders of America, leaders of Newark, and truly just committed themselves to the highest standards of academic excellence. It's truly inspiring for me, and I just feel this energy in this room, this idea that the room is just about to burst open, and that everybody here is just getting ready to just do these amazing things with the future as you all are sitting here and you're thinking about what lies beyond high school and what the next step holds. I urge you to consider that what exactly that next step is much less important than how you do it. And that what exactly you're getting ready to do should always revolve more around what makes you happy, what you're passionate about, and the impact that you're having. And that's why I feel this energy in the room, because I don't know what you're going to do, in the same way that many of you probably don't know what exactly it is that you're getting ready to do. But I feel this excitement that whatever it is, it's about to be spectacular. And so I'm truly honored and privileged to just stand here and have the opportunity to say that I spoke to all of you before you became these big shots that you will ultimately go on to become. But I must address the elephant in the room. I am an alum of University High School, class of 2014, Phoenix Pride, and a recent graduate of Princeton University, class of 2018. So recent, in fact, I just graduated yesterday. Right? And I know that we got a lot of math whizzes in the room. We got some people fresh off of AP Calculus with your fancy differential equations and integrals and logarithms. And I could tell you don't have to be a math whiz to understand here. I just told you I'm class of 2018 at Princeton, which means I'm very young. I'm 21 years old. And as I stand here before you, the question is, what makes me qualified to give this speech? Right? Why is it that they picked a 21-year-old to come and speak to the top 5 from every high school in Newark? I'm probably only 3, maybe 4 years older than most of you anyway. What is it that I have to offer? Especially coming and following the greatness of Mayor Baraka. Perhaps he should have been the one up here giving the speech. I'm sure he would have done a great job. But I'm hoping that as I go on with my speech here, my remarks, and I give you a bit of my story, that I'll not only help to clarify why exactly I'm here to speak with you today, why I'm so excited to do so, but also hopefully share a few lessons that will actually be of use to you as you go on to pursue those great things that I'm sure you will all achieve. You see, and in doing so, I want to take you back to a particular moment in my life, middle school, 8th grade. It's a time that I consider to be a particularly important and significant turning point. You see, because if you had asked most people in the 8th grade if they saw this in me, if they envisioned that eventually I would go on to be graduating from Princeton University, the #1 university in the world, in America, they would probably say no. And you see, that's partly a reflection of the individual that I was in middle school and coming out of middle school. See, I was very bright. My teachers would definitely tell you that. Jordan's always been bright. He's the type of student who it just sort of comes naturally to him. He doesn't have to work very hard. And I knew that. And that got to my head, right? So I was the type of student in middle school who just didn't really apply myself, started goofing off too much, messing around with the wrong friends, didn't really take work seriously because I knew I didn't really have to study. I was going to be all right. And this is this time in my life where I'm entering into University High School. For those of you familiar with the structure of university, they have the 7th and 8th grade program and the high school. So I come in university in the 7th grade, and I'm excited, right? Because you're in this high school environment. Even though I'm in the middle school part of it, it's just this new setting, and I feel like I'm a high schooler. And so then I am working hard. It's a new environment. I want to make a good example, put my best foot forward. And so I'm working really hard, and everybody's like, man, this kid is like running laps around us, you know? And that starts getting to my head. They're like, Jordan, how do you do this? Like, it's easy for you, right? And so that starts getting my ego up a bit. And I finished 7th grade, and everybody knows I'm at the top of the class. I know I'm at the top of the class. I mean, you all know the feeling, right? I'm talking to the top 5 high schoolers. You know that feeling where everybody knows you got it. You know you got it. And so that was me. That's me at the end of 7th grade. And I take my foot off the pedal a little bit, because now I get comfortable. And like I said, start messing around with the wrong crowd. Stop studying. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be valedictorian anyway, so why study? I could have a little bit more fun. I remember the day. I remember the day in the spring of that year, spring of 2010, where an announcement comes on the intercom. They had arrived at the final decision for who was going to be valedictorian and salutatorian of that class. They started with salutatorian. They said his name, and everybody's congratulating him, everybody's excited. It's just great energy in the room. And now they say, and the valedictorian is, and they pause, and everybody's looking at me because they already know it's me. I know it's me. It's one of those things where you try to be humble, right? So you're not looking. I'm just kind of like, no, it's not me. It's not me. But you really know it's me. In my head, I'm like, yeah, come on, it's me, right? And then they say the name, and it's not me. And everybody just kind of looking like, what? Right? And I'm looking like, what? Turns out I had messed around so much, took my foot off of the pedal so much, I wasn't valedictorian, I wasn't even salutatorian, I fell to third place, just missed it. I didn't even get recognized at graduation. They didn't say my name. There was no applause for me. There was no celebration for me, right? And I had nobody to blame but myself, because somebody who was hungrier than I was, two people who were hungrier than I was, who wanted it more and who put in the effort for it, came up and passed me. And so I, right there in the 8th grade, had to look at myself in the mirror and ask myself, what type of person do I really want to be in this world? Am I going to be the person who's okay with being complacent, with just getting by, with resting on my God-given abilities? Or do I want to be the type of person who always works hard for what I want in this world and always gives it 110%? And students, that's my first lesson to you right now, is always take time to reflect in this life. Always take time to reflect on your values, what you want, what it is that you're doing, and are you truly, honestly, be honest with yourself when you look in the mirror and you ask that question to yourself. Are you truly doing what you have to be doing to achieve those goals? And so in that moment, I had to be honest with myself. I said, I let myself down. I had nobody to blame but me. But I also said to myself, I will never again be the reason why this happens. Never again will I have this dream. I wanted to be valedictorian. It's not that I didn't want it. I just didn't work for it. And I said, never again will I set a goal for myself that I don't go all out and give 110% in making a reality. And so what did I do? I said, all right, it's a clean slate. I said, you knock me down once, you won't get me again. So I entered high school with that mentality. I said, it's time to start fresh. And it's time to show them that I should have been valedictorian. And I tell you, that was my mentality all through high school. At the end of that first year, freshman year of high school, I was number 1 in my class. And that maintained that straight through high school, never let up. I ended up graduating university, number 1, valedictorian with the highest GPA in the history of that high school. Ended up being admitted to Harvard, Princeton, and Yale University. So I accepted my admission to Princeton, and then all of a sudden these new questions began arising. It's not a question of effort anymore. I showed that I wanted to work hard. Now it's a question of ability. Now people are actually coming up to me and they're saying, Jordan, I know that you committed to Princeton, but are you sure that that was a good decision? Right? Because here at university, here coming out of Newark, you were a big fish in a small pond. But they say, understand, going to Princeton, you're going to be around the biggest, brightest minds in the world. I mean, we're talking about internationally, people coming who are valedictorians just like you, but they're valedictorian from a different place. You're valedictorian from Newark. So they said, understand, you're about to be a small fish in a big pond. And they said, are you ready? And I said, you don't understand. It's not a question of if I'm ready. Are they ready? Because what Princeton University doesn't know is that they just admitted the hardest worker in the room. I don't care what room I'm in. Again, I'm going to give it 110%. So understand that if they're the best and brightest, they better be ready, because it's not a matter of are you more talented than me. It's not a matter of if you have more natural ability than me, but are you going to outwork me? And ladies and gentlemen, you are never going to outwork me. And so what did I do? Well, I did what all hard workers do. I sweat, I cried, and I pulled my way through. And I am proud to announce that yesterday I graduated Princeton, highest honors, straight A's. Ladies and gentlemen, I never received a B. Thank you. I can also proudly say that as I started thinking about what lied after Princeton and I set my sights on law school, I was admitted to every top law school in the country: Yale University, Harvard University, we're talking Stanford University, 5 full scholarships from NYU, Duke, UMich, Columbia, UChicago. And I could proudly here before you say that I am the first Rhodes Scholar in the history of the Newark Public School System. I'm one of 32 in the United States and only 97 in the world. So we're talking about the most prestigious academic scholarship in the world. And we're talking about a kid from Newark, kid from the east side of Newark, grew up in the east side, went to school on the south side. How did I get here? I worked, and I worked hard, and I did what other people aren't willing to do. That's my other lesson to you, is set your sights on a goal and think about what it takes, and then think about what people are willing to do. And I want you, that idea that comes to your mind, most people would just say, that's a little crazy. Be crazy. Challenge yourself to go above and beyond in everything you do. Be that person who sets the model. Be the person who other people look at and they say, I want to do what they're doing, but I don't think I can because I'm scared. Be that person who makes people scared. Scare yourself with your dreams and your goals, and then scare yourself with your ability to attain them. That's my challenge to you, and I know you could all do it because I did it. I'm an example of what happens when you just commit yourself to unending standards of excellence and do whatever it takes to achieve it and give 110%. Now that being said, I'm a realist. I understand that things happen in life that are outside of our control, right? And so at the same time as my lesson to you has been to reflect and then to give it your all and give it 110%, as I say, I have another lesson to you, and I want to give it to you with a story. So you see, a lot of people think that Princeton in some way was easy just because of what I've managed to accomplish. Princeton was not easy. Princeton beat me down, made me bruised and sad and demoralized, but it has a way of picking you back up if you want to be picked up. And so I remember my first semester at Princeton University, I was in this calculus class. It was accelerated calculus because I thought I had it like that. I've always been confident. I didn't have it like that. But it took me a while to learn that. It was the first quiz, and I'm preparing for it, I'm studying for it, and it was the first time academically that I could remember studying and it's not clicking, right? I'm sure that if you haven't had that feeling yet, many of you will, and so I hope you're listening to this story because it was the first time where all of a sudden I know that I'm not going to pass the quiz, right? I'm sure that that's an eye-opener for a lot of students in this room is even if you're struggling, you know it's going to be all right. But this is the first time in my life when I can remember just really looking and having to come to terms with the fact that it's not going to be all right. And so what do? I'm there, I'm studying, I'm at the homework center, I'm trying to get help on it, trying to get whatever bit of knowledge I can. The quiz is the next morning. It's now 10 p.m. And now I'm starting to kind of hyperventilate a little bit because it's like, all right, this quiz is the next morning, I'm still not getting it. And so I step out of the homework center. I'd been in there for hours, and I did the only thing that I think any reasonable person in that moment could do. I called my mama. And I talked to my mama, and I said, Mom, she said, hey, baby. She said, how you doing? I said, not too good. And she said, what's wrong? And I said, I think I'm about to fail this quiz tomorrow. And she said, oh, you say that, you're not actually going to fail. I said, Mom, no, you don't understand. This is for real this time, I'm going to fail. And she said, is there anything that you could do? Is there anybody that you could talk to? And I thought about it, and I realized that there was a math professor on campus that I knew through a summer program that I had done the year before. And it just didn't even come to my mind until she just, something about talking to her, and she said, is there anybody? And he just popped into my mind. And so I was like, okay, Mom, I got to get off the phone. You're right. There is something I could do. I got to go. And I call this professor, and I say, listen, I know you're on campus for the summer program again. It's like the end of the program, and so things are wrapping up, and it must be really busy for you. But is there any chance you could just get with me for 20 minutes, half an hour, please? There's a quiz tomorrow. At this point, it's 11 p.m. And I know I'm going to fail this. I need something. Just give me something. And he says, of course. He's like, what do you mean? If you want to talk to me, my door's wide open to you. And so I go and I meet with him. He made himself available to me. And I just asked him for 30 minutes. He sat there. He gave me 4 hours of help. 4 hours. And he said, Jordan, I guarantee you right now you're ready. because I wasn't ready to leave him. At this point, it was 3 in the morning. And I said, I need more, I need more. He said, go to sleep. And so I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I took that quiz, and I got a B+ on it. I didn't get an A, right? This isn't a story about how I came through and I got an A. I got a B+ on it. But understand, I was going to fail, and I got a B+ on it. And then I continued working with him. He said, I'm actually going to stay on campus just because I believe that you're committed, and because you're so serious about this, we're going to work at this, and you are going to get an A. He said, you got a B+. He's like, we're going to bring that up to an A. And I worked with him every single day on that calculus class. Every single problem set that I got, every quiz, we were grinding it out hours and hours. I ended up getting an A+ in that class. And so what's my lesson there? Yes, it's about giving it 110%. I was willing to do that, but that wasn't enough. See, this lesson here is about surrounding yourself with the right people. You have to know your support network. It's not enough to want to try hard and to be willing to try hard, but sometimes you just reach that roadblock where somebody has to come and give you a helping hand. And that's what that professor was for me. And so this other lesson to you all is to identify those special people in your life, to know your resources, know your networks, and to leverage those. So you have to be humble. You have to be confident enough in your abilities to know that you can accomplish things, but then you also need to be able to admit when you need help. And so I encourage you all, as you're sitting here with your parents around you, to realize that they're resources for you. When things get hard, call your mama, call your papa. But to also understand the other resources in your lives, the professors, the networks, wherever your life will take you, they'll be there for you. And so keep that in mind. And if you do that, if you're willing to reflect on your values, to actually be honest with yourself and thinking about whether you're working toward them, if you're willing to give it 110% and you're willing to call on people when you need their help, I guarantee you that the greatest success in life awaits you. But that's not enough. You see, because it's one thing to be successful for yourself, but then it's another thing to be successful in the way that we actually make a difference in the world, right? It's one thing to know that we've improved ourselves and, as many of us like to say, gotten out of the hood. And then it's another thing to raise people out of the hood with us. And so people often ask me, they say, Jordan, in so many ways, you've achieved all the gold stars. You're graduating Princeton, highest honors. You're a Rhodes Scholar. I committed to Yale Law School, #1 law school in the country. And they say, what lies next? And I say, I want to come home. I want to come back to Newark, and I want to help the people in my city. And they say, you want to do what? They say, you're going back? I said, yes, I'm going back to Newark. Because you see, I understand that although I've been successful and I'm so thankful, I understand that I am where I am because of Newark, not despite Newark. I understand that I wouldn't be where I am if it were not for Newark. And I'm sure that many of you can agree that we've had to overcome a lot in this city, but we've also encountered a lot in the city. A lot of really special people, a lot of really special opportunities, a lot of growing experiences. And I understand that people in the city are struggling. And I understand that I'm an isolated case, right? And I want to make sure that everybody in the city has the same opportunity to succeed and to flourish and to be empowered in the same way that I have, right? I want to share with you some statistics here, just so you get an idea of the magnitude of what you've accomplished in being top 5 in your high school, but also some of what the real world outside of the shelter of school looks like in Newark. For young men, only 1 in 10 will actually go on to graduate from a 4-year accredited college or university. In contrast, 1 in 3 will serve jail time in their lifetime. That means you are 3 times, for my math whizzes out there, your logarithms now, that means you are 3 times more likely to serve jail time as a young man in Newark than to graduate from a 4-year college or university. Maybe that's because they're too busy thinking about whether or not they'll even live to see another day. You see, the average male lifespan in the United States is 73 years old. The average male lifespan in Newark is 61 years old. Young women have the same obstacles to overcome. 2 in 3 will have a child outside of wedlock. That's largely because of the disparate rates and significantly higher rates of teen pregnancy in Newark. So you see, this is what people are dealing with on a hard data perspective here. We're talking about stats. But we don't need stats. We're from Newark. We live this. We see this. We know people are dying. People are being robbed. People are starving. We are single mothers out there working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet for their babies. Right? This is what's happening. outside right now, and we are in here celebrating. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be celebrating. I applaud you for what you've done, and you all should be so proud of what you've managed to do and what you've accomplished so far. But what I am saying is that in so many ways, you beat the odds. You see, the statistics are against you. This shouldn't be possible. In so many ways, the structure is in place to stop you from graduating top 5 and to stop you from going on to do great things. And despite that, you've done it, right? And so I want you to understand that this is the reality for so many people in Newark. Not this celebration, but the just questioning of whether you'll live to see another day is a reality. I remember speaking to at Hawthorne Street School, and there was a young man. He couldn't have been any older than maybe 11 years old. And I shared my story with him, and he said to me, he said, "Are any of your friends from high school still alive?" And he said, I said to him, what do you mean? I said, of course they're alive. And he said, did they get into gangs? Did they fall into the wrong crowd? And this was this 11-year-old boy's reality, was he wasn't sure if his friend group, and perhaps even himself, would be alive after high school. You graduate high school at 17. He didn't believe that he'd be alive to see past the age of 17. That's the reality in Newark. And I commend Mayor Baraka for everything that he's done to help improve circumstances, and they are improving. But he's one man. I want you to understand, as you think about what comes after high school, that you are all special in so many ways, and you are all powerful in so many ways. Powerful in ways that allow you to harness your special skills, talents, and abilities to truly make a difference in this world, to truly go out and perform great acts of service, not only to this city, not only to this state, to this country, to the world, to humanity. You are capable of greatness in ways that unfortunately not everybody has the opportunity to be capable of. And it's here in front of you. It's here if you want to take it. And so I urge you to really think critically now about what comes next. Because regardless of what your goals entail, whether that's medicine, law, policy, business, there is an opportunity for every single one of you to do something truly special for other people in this world. And that's my other lesson to you, is never forget where you came from, and always remember to give back and pay it forward. Because once a Norker, always a Norker. And not a single one of us will be free until every single one of us is free. And so, class of 2018, I want to say thank you, congratulations, and I look forward to working with you as we pursue that dream once uttered by Martin Luther King, that we can all join hands one day and proudly proclaim to the heavens, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. To the young people who are here being honored tonight, are you inspired? Can I hear that again? Are you inspired? All right, all right. We are now going to move on, and what we're going to do now, but before we do, I have a couple little housekeeping things. First, I want to recognize one of a former board member of Newark Public Schools, Mr. Khalil Rashidi, who I did not recognize earlier, who served on the Newark Public Schools board in the past with me. And also, Mayor Baraka, I know that you said that I did this mostly by myself, because we don't, in our educational office, we don't have this large cadre of employees. But there's one person that I must recognize, and is Ashaki Larkins. Did she step out?
Right there.
Okay, Ashaki, she doesn't like to be in the forefront, but I will tell you, Mayor Baraka and everyone else here, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to go out and represent the mayor the way that I am at meetings and events and stuff, because she holds it down. She holds it down. And I'm about to start crying on that one. And I also would be remiss if I did not recognize the Newark Charter School Fund and the Chad School Foundation for their support, their financial support in aiding to make this event a reality this evening. So if we could please give them a hand. And so now, we will come to the very important part of this evening, and that is actually honoring those of you, the seniors, those of you who have come here this evening, and you are going to receive a letter of commendation, each of you individually, from Mayor Baraka. See, he's not listening to me again. He probably got them all out of order. Got them all out of order. Okay, that's all right. So what is going to happen is that each school is going to come up, and I think I'd like the mayor to stand on this side, and I will, so I can hand you the right ones, and then students, after you receive your letter of commendation from the mayor, we'd like you to stay on stage, and we'll take a group picture together with the mayor. If your principal, school administrator is here with you and would like to join in that picture, that would be just fine. And we're going to go a little bit out of order because one of our schools has to leave because they're being honored somewhere else. How dare them? But we're going to have University High School first. So let me just find University. Prince Abima. We have Anasia Belton. Tamara Johnson. Grace Blay. Blessing Brahma. And Principal Edwin Mendez. Oh, I'm sorry. And also, when you walk off, please walk off this way. If any board members or administrators would like to shake the students' hands as they come off, that will be just fine. Where's the photographer? Oh, no, you're kneeling down. I didn't see you. All right. Yeah, Jordan, come on up here.
Might as well get that feed.
That's right. Yes, sir.
You went to science.
Let's. Ms. Larkins. Okay. So I know who's not here, even though I'm going. Okay. From American History High School, we have Lydia O'Toole. If you guys could move up a little closer, yeah, thank you. Tania Showhery, I'm hoping I'm saying. Did I get it close? Say your name for me, please. Chowdhury. Brianna Washington. And Principal Jason Denard. American history. You know, if you guys move back. From Arts High School. Nathalia Cruz. Isaiah Major. Autumn Holmes. Samantha Harper, Yaritza Rodriguez, and Principal Ricardo Pedro. From Bard Early College High School. Journey Ross, Gabby Romero, Stefan Camaro, and Asada Rashidi. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Principal Carla Stevens, I'm so sorry. I know, you see? So Arts is the only one who gets the little special treatment, huh? Barringer Academy of the Arts. Lizette Diaz, Natalia, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So Lisette is not here, but Natalia Armijos Calderon, Makia Justin Harrison. Did I say your name wrong? Makaya. And Joanne Patrice Grimsley. Is your principal here? Okay. Jordan, you could be in all of these pictures, you know. Yes. Guys, oh, never mind. Okay. From now on, folks, I want you to walk down this way because there's a receiving line waiting for you. Barringer Academy of STEAM, Jonah Sierra, Teresa Jean, Naomi Cass, Melanie Alvarez, and Gregory Todd, and Principal Angela Mincy. Central High School. Corinne Jean Jacquez, Francia Omar Rui, Mariana Sharif, Jamara Johns, and Willage Mercadet. Principal Shanae Brown, Thank you. Crystal Ray, Newark High School. Aaron Crowder. Elijah Benson. Roxana Denson. I'm sorry, Roxana Diaz. Uchenna Erchukwa. If I like really mess your name up really badly, please come up here and say it correctly. I do apologize. Please say your name correctly for me. It's Erichuku. Thank you. And Principal, is Principal Gabia here? Okay. That's right. No, this one we're holding. Yes.
My brother's plaque. You're gonna take it for him.
Eastside High School. Janet? Okay, so I'm not sure exactly who's here and who's not, but I will call all of the names, and if it is you, please come up at that time. Janet Cazares, Jennifer Chicas, okay, Jennifer, Xavier Romero Carrera, Katuxa Teto Montemuno, and Nick Velasquez. Okay, Nick. Is Principal Santos here? Okay. But Principal Thomas is here. Who can I trust to give those to? Hmm?
Give them to the principal.
Yeah. Would you give them to the principal? Who would be responsible to give them to the principal? Oh, you don't look like you want. It's okay. No. We're not going to make you if you don't want to. Don't worry about it. Essex County, Newark Tech. Abby Lawrence. Kayla Lee Santiago. Guys, I want to ask you to move up some so that we can move a little faster, please. Thank you. Kathleen Rodriguez. Melly Arias. And Samantha Ocampo. Okay, but that's not my problem. My problem is which of the two schools, which two charges are not here? People and, okay. I'm sorry, did I call your name?
Yeah, Caitlin.
I'm losing my mind. I called all your name?
Yes.
See, I'm crazy. Okay. Okay. Great Oaks Legacy Charter School. I think the first one is, oh no, it's okay. Right here. Tabitha Laurent. Najarel Echoes. Heidi Monteza. Nicole Silva. Hernan Aguilar. And the school leader, Jared Tolliver, ED. Did I say that correctly? But what is your title? Tolliver. I said your title. Executive Director. Thank you. KIPP Newark Collegiate Academy. Alonzo Ely, Abdul Nasheed, Tiana Davis Lewis, Charlize Peterson, Jocelyn Marquand, and Principal Sean Stevens.
Make it happen.
Working on it.
Yeah, feel some type of way. A minute.
Lead Charter School. Rochelle Caesar, Jemiah Wolf, Abdul Thornton, Yasmina Reddick, Antum Alexander, and Principal Darrell Price. Malcolm X Shabazz High School, Shanice Wellington, Brianna Racine, Tommy Fuchs, Zahora Fairley, Kosisa Chukwa, I hope I was close, Chukwu, and Principal Damian Holmes. I want to thank everyone for your patience as we call all of the students from all of the schools and the respect that you're giving for each school. Thank you very much. Marion P. Thomas Charter High School of Culinary and Performing Arts. Okay, I'm not going to remember. Okay. Rachel Jimenez, Janet Saba Abasiga, Felicia Phillips, Tyler Vega, Alexis Henderson, Principal Kimberly Wright White. Okay.
Somebody was yelling for somebody, huh? No?
Folks, there are two of our schools who could not be here this evening because they're actually graduating tonight. So I'm just going to call them quickly. North Star Academy, Washington Park High School. Principal Michael Mann. Students Taj Janae, Brazil Ford, Rashima Wise, Emma Hagan, Chica Wilson, and Nasir Smith. We also have, who could not be here today because of graduation, People's Preparatory Charter School, Principal Jess Rooney. Students, Amarat Awawolo, Samuel Sylvester, Jerome Carter, Marquise Colquitt Austin, and you gonna say the last one for me? Ayanolua Ogunsola. Okay. I know. I'm working on them because the names are getting longer. St. Benedict's Preparatory School. Oh, I think, is St. Benedict's here? No.
Yeah, they right there.
St. Benedict.
North 13th is first. North 13th.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
North 13th.
I'm sorry. North 13th is first. My mistake. From North 13th Street, Nicole Robinson, Alexandria Cruz, Tanya Gibbs, Azia Wright, Ajay Wright, and Shania Godfrey. Principal is Dr. Patricia Clark Jeter. Thank you. St. Benedict's Preparatory School. Liam Riley, Luan Lamas, Brian Pacelli, okay, Jerry Miraval, Solomon Diakite. Did I say it right? I said it pretty close. Okay, Diakite. Excuse me, they already had their time. It's their time. Oh, wait a minute. St. Vincent Academy. Anna Marsha Alexis, Sosri Berger, Amaya Irawak, I'm sorry, that's it, yeah. And I'm sorry, I know Sister June is not here, but the administrators who are here from St. Vincent's. And from the administration at St. Vincent's, Mary Nolan. Science. Thank you. Thank you. These are for the children. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Science Park High School. Gabriela de Carvalino, Bukola Ajanaku, Juan Alaya, Roger Batista, and Haley Gonzalez. And Principal Kathleen Tierney. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Technology High School. Technology actually has 6 students because they had 2 students with identical GPAs. From Technology High School, Chantelly Villanona, Ya Obeng, Dora Calva, Jared Sinche, Amy Ann Ezia, and Alicia Salazar, and Principal Edwin Reyes. Go right ahead. Wait a minute. Oh, I did university. Okay, who's that?
I'll get behind you.
What's his name?
My hair is very
Got it.
last name.
Wait a minute. And from Uplift, who's right here?
Uplift Tamira Burks.
Which is number 2.
Number 2.
Okay.
Then West Side, Nimra Akram.
All right.
Okay, I hope I held up the right way. Okay, Uplift. From Uplift Academy. Deshaun Ingram. Carisman Jackson. Romaine Banton. And Pedro Assis. And Principal Tracy Watkins. So we just have week break and
It's just something
thank you all. Congratulations. And this is for the students that got here. Okay. And this is week break.
Wait.
Yeah. Weequahic High School. Zaneid Cone. Samuel Adesina. Keyshawn Chambers. Salia Brown. Latifa Barrett. And Vice Principal Natika Brown is here with them this evening. Last but not least is Westside High School campus. Before we call Westside, students If your name is not spelled correctly, please let us know before you leave so that we will issue you a new certificate letter from the mayor. You're welcome to keep that one, but let us know and we will issue you a corrected one. Also, one last thing, the pictures, the group pictures that are taken tonight, each student will receive a professional copy of that in the mail. So I hope that you put your address when you sign in. Those will be mailed to your homes because school will be out by the time we actually have the finished pictures. So Westside, excuse me for making that announcement before we call you. Last but never least, Westside High School campus, Segun Ajubade. The first one is not there. The first person is not there. Konyansola Awawu Hariru. And I apologize if I'm butchering folks' names. Rondell Aaron Henry, Elizabeth Nana Mensah, and Principal Larry Ramkasoon. Get on the stage. Get on, wait a minute. One more.
We all have a school that we represent.
Yes.
Represent you guys. This is my Westwood people.
Stop talking so I can take your picture.
Thank you. Congratulations, guys.
And thank you all. Thank you all. I hope you had a wonderful evening. Is this mic better? Safe travels to the seniors, the graduating seniors. We wish you a wonderful future, and we hope to see you again soon in our city. Thank you.